Good morning, my friends. How's everyone this morning? I hope you're well. This is week 17 of our uh, Challenge Me More in 24. And 17 means 1/3 of the year is already over. Amazing. Anyway, I wanted to go through this with you quickly. Hopefully, I've put out a few new things. And, new is old again, or old is new again. Anyway, the challenge is to divert 2,000 pounds of my own waste products. Whatever you throw away is your waste, isn't it? And so instead of going out into the trash, it's going back into my soil. It might be going through my worms first, it might be going through my homemade compost first, but it's then being added back into my soil. And whether you're doing carbon or nitrogen rich, if that is too much for you, don't think of it that way. If you want to try it yourself, things like your cereal boxes, any cereal, the kids don't want to eat it, so you're going to throw it away. Well, let's figure out a use for it. You could be making your own soil by adding shredded cardboard, shredded newspaper. If you get anything from Amazon, now they're trying to reduce their cardboard use, and they're putting it in little bags like these. And if you look at the inside of it, it has little poofs. These are kind of sticky, so I think they're probably a vegetable-based something. And don't put this through your shredder. It will gum it up. But if you have worms or you have compost, you could rip it up. My worms, I could just open this probably like that, and I could, the whole way, I could lay it face down. The worms would love it. Worms love sweets. I have cotton. You can only use so much cotton on your skin. You can only use so much cotton when you're doing your nails, that sort of thing. So some of it could go back to your worms. If you have, now we have a CVS is, I think it's called Customer Value Service or something like that. But CVS is our, where we get our prescription drugs. It's drugstore. So they have everything. But they have, please recycle the old bags. And it says there's something like, I can't quite read that, but I think it's like 90% recycled. Don't put this through your shredder either, or you'll be fighting the little particles. But it breaks down very, very fast, as you can imagine. Toilet paper roll, paper towel rolls. My prescription over there came in a little box, and it has a little flyer inside, medical information. All these things, if they can go through your shredder, then that's fine. Those things I do count as part of my weight. One thing I wasn't doing was I was throwing away all my flowers. My plants all produce flowers, and I was just putting them out for the weekly garden waste. And of course, it was supposed to be going back to somewhere. The county is supposed to have some sort of a landfill where it's just yard waste. But not everyone's trained very well, and they send them out in plastic bags, or they go ahead and put in other trash. Other than that, this I can control. This I know that I'm putting it back into my compost. So yes, I do weigh that. Some of the things break down quickly. So other things like the magnolia leaves take forever to break down. On the other side, on the nitrogen side, my banana peels, strawberry tops, anything, coffee. Although that's a tough one, because coffee, once it's already been brewed, is kind of it's inert. I guess it would still be it's still a food. It's not a grit for the worms, but it's still a food. And it's my coffee maker telling me that my coffee's ready, and I haven't had my coffee yet, so sorry. Um, Anything else? Let me just look at my little list my cheat sheet that I always have. And oh, I forgot the vacuum. When you vacuum or you sweep your floors, uh, put it back outside. If you have nothing else to do, put it back outside. I think that we used to put it in the trash. You know, like, oh, this is sand and dust. We need to put that in the trash. What the heck were we thinking? Put it back outside where it came from. And there'll always be, you need to lessen the landfill, and you need to raise your own level of soil. But also we give it to the worms, because a lot of that sand acts as a good grit. Dryer lint. Most of our clothes are cotton, and I don't know if I'm trying to think of anything that I have that's nylon, but most of it's cotton. So that dryer lint either goes to the worms or it goes out into the compost. And I think that's probably about all I can think of as far as what I put in there. A funny story, they say that when they got into the pyramids, that they actually found pasta from thousands of years ago. So it kind of lets you know that pasta hangs around a long time. But should you, for any reason, decide that your pasta isn't worthy of your own consumption, you can put that into your worm bins, put it into your compost as well. Crackers, other things. If you have rice, this is off the subject of recycling, but if you have rice and you rinse it, you're rinsing vitamins off. And so you can use that rinse water. Either you can use it in your hair, your skin, you can use it for your worms, you can use it on your flowers. Now, if I do tap water, which is what I use, and I rinse my rice in that water I wouldn't necessarily give to my worms immediately, because it's tap water. Any chemicals in it have not dissipated yet. So, and I'm not going to use rainwater on my rice, but I do give it to the worms eventually, or to my plants. The other one here is corn. Came from the corn. Beans, peas, anything that's low salt. Hang on to your liquids, and again, if there's any sugars in it, either your worms are going to love it or your plants are going to love it. And I think that's probably about it. We had a visit from the grass man. It's like a visit from the Sandman. Brian is our neighbor, and he brought down 22 pounds of, brought a bag, and I take it out and weigh it, 22 pounds of grass clippings. So we added to that with everything that we saved, and we came out with 36 pounds, 12 ounces, and added to, we already had 450 pounds, 10 ounces, 10.2. We can't come up with, after the first third of the year, 487 pounds, 6.2 ounces. So we're behind what we should be a little, almost 700 pounds, and we're not quite to 500. But this is kind of the dry end of the year, and hopefully the next third of the year will be heavier than that. One other thing I wanted to tell you, this year for Earth Day, they're doing the plastics versus the planet, or the planet versus plastics. I can't remember which way they put it. But we've started a new thing. I'll show it to you maybe the next time. I showed it for Earth Day, and it was two things. One, it's a plastic ball, and it has these micro fiber little balls or something in it, and you put it in your washer, and as it tumbles and swishes and does things in your washer, it cleans your clothes. It releases the dirt from your clothing fiber, and they get rinsed away. once a month you're supposed to take them out and put them in the sun so it revitalizes these little crystals. We've been using it now for almost a week, so 5 loads of laundry. The jury is still out for Rick. He wants everything to smell good, not smell clean. He wants that covered up. This smells like lilac. This smells like vanilla. This smells, I want it to smell clean. And I want to know that my washer is clean, because I'm the one who, we usually have a washer for about, I don't know, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years. And I know that there's gunk in there. And so I will take the drawer out and I'll clean the whole thing, and I reach in there and I get everything that looks kind of yucky. I don't go down to the bottom and clean that whole system out, and I can only imagine that's intense. But if you had something where you weren't using a detergent, you weren't using a powder, you weren't using anything like that, something that could do this on its own, then wow, that would eliminate that, wouldn't it? And it would also eliminate the use of going out and buying things like this. On the drier end, it's not quite as much. Although Rick uses a softener. When he's retired and he started helping me with the laundry, he decided that he needed scent boosters and fabric softener in the washer, along with bounce dryer sheets in the dryer. Got to be, the guy with the suspenders and the belt. I mean, it's like if one's good, two's better. So a funny man, but what can I say? Anyway, on the dryer end, we're trying these wool balls. It's Australian sheep wool, and we're trying that for drying. It's supposed to dry faster and leave your clothes as soft. Again, jury's out for Rick, but we're trying it. So a funny story. You might not think it's all that funny, but 35 loads, 45 ounces, which is just under an ounce and a half. So Rick is going to help me with my household chores, because now he's retired, okay? So doesn't like to garden, doesn't like to do that, so that's more my physical end of it. So he uses this cup to measure. Well, he assumes that they want you to put this much in here. This is 1/3 of a cup. So it's almost 3 ounces, which means it's over 2 loads of what they're saying. So instead of 35 loads, we were maybe getting 15 loads, which for us is about 3 weeks. Which means we use 17 of these a year. That's 4.5 ounces times 17 is what, 34, 68 and a half, maybe another 8 makes it maybe 75, 76 ounces, which is 4 pounds, 12 ounces. So almost 5 pounds just in this little thing. He uses about the same in fabric softener. Now we've got 10 pounds. Just this thing, just our wash, just Rick doing it. So plastics against the planet. I don't want to ban plastics. I think that would be silly. But if there are other ways of doing things, then let's research that. All I'm saying. I did then what I knew how to do. Now that I know better, I do better. a quote from Maya Angelou and perfect for the situation. So I will leave you with that. I hope you all find some way that you can help the planet and help your neighbors and help yourself. So with that, I'll say I hope everyone has a great Sunday, and remember, garden what you've got, and I hope to see you back next Sunday. Thanks so much for stopping by. I hope you'll give me a thumbs up, and if you haven't already, please subscribe. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.